Hi, I'm Kyle Beery, and this is the Butler Beat. Basketball season is here, and the Bulldogs men's and women's basketball teams will be playing in the newly renovated Hinkle Fieldhouse. Today, I'm joined by two Butler University Associate Athletic Directors, Mike Freeman and Ken LaRose. Mike, Ken, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
And I guess what I want to start by talking about is the Fieldhouse opens next Saturday, November 1st. What are some of the renovations that these fans are going to be seeing?
Yeah, we think fans are going to see a lot of things that they've seen for many years, but the renovation has done a lot of different things to make their experience a lot better. So there's new chair back, cushioned seats with cup holders. That was a very important thing to a lot of fans. The new video scoreboards that a lot of fans have been tweeting out photos of. Better restrooms, better concession options. The concourses are going to be more easy for traffic flow, a little bit cleaned out. Some new graphics packages. But at the same time, we kind of went in with all those new upgrades and did some things to the building to make sure that it kept the charm of Hinkle, took off a lot of paint to showcase a lot more of the brick, and reused some different things throughout the building to make sure that we're staying true to the history, but also giving fans an even better experience.
Mm-hmm. And then, Ken, what are some of the upgrades that the athletes are going to be seeing?
Well, that was our main goal, was to improve the student-athlete experience, and we did that, and people are going to be excited about that, and the student-athletes are excited about that. But just to name a few, we've got a new and improved weight room, brand new state-of-the-art weight room, which doubled the size of our existing weight room. The students are really excited about that. We've got a new athletic training center, which more than 5 times doubled the existing training table, and so we're able to take care of our athletes as far as a maintenance and preventative, and then also getting them back on the field type of thing. We have, for the first time ever, a student academic center, student-athlete academic center. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. The athletes so far have come in, and it's kind of a wow factor where they can come in before and after practice to study. They've never had that before. They've had to find places over on campus. Mm-hmm. We've got classroom space as well, especially for the larger sports like in football, where football, when they wanted to have a group meeting, they had to come over on campus, and it was kind of inconvenience to get in their cars and all that. Now they have that space right there in the field house. New locker rooms, obviously men's and women's basketball locker rooms were unveiled last week. Video rooms, state-of-the-art video rooms, which was partially donated by Butler alum Gordon Hayward. Mm-hmm. The new volleyball got a new locker room out of it. Football got new and improved offices. The annex, the athletic annex, which is for a number of our smaller sports, tennis, golf, cross-country, track, baseball, softball, got new locker rooms and offices. So the student-athletes, and that was our goal, is to improve that experience, and they all came back this summer and fall very, very impressed.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also, I understand, a new media room. A new room for press conferences.
Yes, those are included in our 2 classrooms. Okay. Those classrooms will be used partially by PE classes, and also for some sports teams to have their team meetings and group meetings and all that, and then also on game nights will be the press room. So very much needed and very nice spaces. In addition to the fan experience and also the student-athlete experience, we also wanted to upgrade the donor experience, and we've got our hospitality area called the Wildman Room. We more than tripled the size of our hospitality, where we can entertain some of our alums and donors, and that will be unveiled here on November 14th.
Okay. And then when did this whole idea for renovations to this historic building come about, and when did it all kind of take off?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, because it's been a long time coming. Obviously, Ken spent a number of years on campus as a student athlete and as a coach, and I think even in the 80s and in the 90s, we knew that it was coming and that we needed to do some different things. But from an athletic department standpoint, we needed to get some other facilities knocked out first, get upgrades to the Butler Bowl, baseball facility, softball facility, tennis courts, indoor hitting facility, and a track and field facility, so that we could then take on this big project. But about 5 years ago is when the initial studies were done by some architects to figure out how much space we have within the building, and then some initial thoughts about how we can reallocate that space to better utilize the square footage that we have within Hinkle. So that started about 4 to 5 years ago, and it's constantly evolving the different things that are going to be adjusted in the process. As far as the fundraising goes, that got kicked off in silent phase in 2011, and then really got going closer to when Ken's predecessor, Bill Lynch, was on staff, and then Ken has been running with that.
Yeah, so we entered the public phase of our campaign, the Hinkle Campaign, in November of 12, and it has just taken off since then. Our goal was to raise $16 million. We are close to $18 million, so it was a successful campaign. We surpassed our goal. Money still continues to trickle in. The project cost $36 million. We have a plan to finance the rest of it, the difference of it. But we want to thank a ton of people, and from start to finish, we've had over 2,500 donors specifically to the Hinkle Campaign, and then that includes starting from our Board of Trustees, many of our faculty and staff, all of our student athletes, current student athletes, and coaches inside Hinkle Fieldhouse donated in one way or the other to the Hinkle Campaign. So it's been a big hit for us, and we got a lot of people to thank for that.
That's interesting that you say all the student athletes donated. Is that an idea that the student athletes came up with themselves? Or?
Well, the department did. Barry and I were talking about getting the student athletes involved, and all we had to do, a simple thing, is ask, and that's the biggest thing in fundraising. That's how you get money. Is you got to ask people to give, and we got with all of the sports teams and coaches, and got their buy-in that you guys are the beneficiaries of all this money coming in, and you're going to get new spaces and new opportunities. Would you contribute? And all of them, to a person, said absolutely. So we got 100% participation by our student athletes, and also by our coaches, and also by our staff inside of Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously it is an upgrade for all the student athletes, all these new facilities, and that goes hand in hand with the upgrade that the men's, well, all the sports programs have seen with the Big East. What does it mean now for Butler to have this brand new, so to say, facility while they're transitioning into a bigger conference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look at it from a men's and women's basketball standpoint, I think what we've done with Hinkle Fieldhouse and what our coaches see and what our upperclassmen are going to realize is that when it comes to Big East basketball and how we fit in, we're going to have one of the best facilities around, because it's the best of both worlds. It's your iconic field house on campus that has more history than any of the other facilities that we're going to play in the Big East, but it also has these new amenities that the NBA arenas that some of these other teams play in. Now we have those with the video boards, with the video rooms, the locker rooms, all the different things that, the bells and the whistles. We have that while still being a walk from the apartment village, which is nice to be on campus.
And would you say all these bells and whistles, as you say, would help with recruiting in the future now that we've got a state-of-the-art arena at Butler?
Yeah, absolutely. It can't hurt, and I think we've already seen some dividends when our coaches have gone out on the road and bring recruits in to see the building. We're recruiting 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and while you want them all to understand that they're making a 50-year decision of who you're going to be around and what you're going to be linked to with your college choice, you still have to provide them a great space to work and train in while they're there for those 4 years. So we think we've kept it in the right frame of mind while putting it together for not only recruiting purposes, but for the student athletes that we have here. We have 375 student athletes that we're trying to take care of every single day, and this does a great job of that.
And one of the things that people absolutely love about Hinkle is the charm of it, the history. And was that one of the top priorities, preserving the charm of Hinkle?
Absolutely, and that was our goal from the onset. But also, people told us too when we were renovating Hinkle Fieldhouse. When we were working with the architects, people were saying, "Now you're going to, upgrade Hinkle and all that, but you're not going to change the charm." And we said, "No, rest assured." And I think the proof will be in the pudding here. We've noticed it all summer long when they were reconstructing the place. But as the fans come in here in the next couple of weeks, and to see that there's going to be a lot of oohs and ahs, and it's going to see a lot of new seating, a new scoreboard. But then after you sit down and enjoy the game, you're going to say, this is still Hinkle. We've still got the iconic windows. We still got the arch up on top of the ceiling. So it's really Hinkle, but just going to be a little bit more modern.
Okay. And so the first game for the Butler men's team will be at Hinkle on Saturday, November 1st against the University of Chicago at 7 p.m. And the Butler women open the next day at Hinkle against Northern Michigan at 2 o'clock. That's November 2nd. Tickets are still available for both of those games. So thanks again to Mike Freeman and Ken LaRose, Associate Athletic Directors here at Butler. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm Kyle Beery, and you've been watching the Butler Beat.